Once upon a time, there was a village in Rwanda called Rebero, ruled by a wise and kind king named Rugera and his gracious queen, Nyirabayirima. The people of Rebero were happy under their leadership, flourishing in their farming and daily lives. The king and queen were blessed with 3 children, a beautiful daughter named Inisa, and 2 handsome sons named Mugisha and Twali. However, their youngest son, Komonzi, was different. Komonzi was born with much more weight than his siblings, and his size made him the subject of gossip in the village. People whispered about how much he ate and how he didn't look like a king's son. Even during walks among their people, the king and queen often left Komonzi behind to shield him from the cruel words of others. Komonzi, left alone at home, found himself with no one to play with. Even his siblings distanced themselves, as Komonzi struggled to lift himself up. With nothing else to do, Komonzi grew up with a voracious appetite, often eating to fill the void of loneliness. While his siblings were busy managing their parents' farms and visiting other families, Komonzi spent his days eating in solitude, further fueling the gossip about his weight. Despite his isolation, Komonzi had one passion, the traditional dance known as Intore. He loved watching the dancers, captivated by their movements ever since he was young. One morning, Komonzi decided to venture out again to watch the Intore dance in the village. As he stood in the crowd, he noticed a girl staring at him and smiling warmly. Overwhelmed by self-consciousness, he slowly started to run away, but this time, the girl followed him. "Why do you run?" she called out. "What is wrong? I thought you enjoy the dancing because I do too." Komonzi stopped and turned to her, feeling confused and a little defensive. "Yes, I do," he responded, "but why are you looking at me? Do you want these people to laugh at me?" The girl shook her head, her smile never fading. "No, I just think you are a good person, and we both enjoy the traditional dance. My name is Keza, and I sell vegetables in the market. What do you want from me?" Komonzi asked, still wary. "I would like to be your friend," Keza said gently. "I can take you to another village where they have an even more beautiful traditional dance." "It was nice to see you," Komonzi replied, still unsure. "But I must go. Goodbye." With a heavy heart, Komonzi left, his mind swelling with thoughts and loneliness. Keza watched him leave, her smile soft and understanding. Not long after this encounter, Komonzi fell gravely ill. The village was struck by a cholera outbreak, and many people became sick. The queen and king were deeply worried, especially when Komonzi, their son who had always been isolated, was bedridden and unable to eat. The traditional doctors tried their best, but Komonzi's condition worsened, and he began to lose weight rapidly. As the illness finally left the village, Komonzi emerged from his sickness drastically changed. He was no longer the fat boy people whispered about, he had lost so much weight that he became fit and handsome, shocking everyone who saw him. His confidence grew, and for the first time, he felt comfortable in his own skin. One day, Komonzi decided to visit the Intore dance again, hoping to see Keza. But she was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, girls in the village, now noticing his transformation, began vying for his attention, each hoping to win his heart. As his father, King Rugera, conquered new territories and sent Komonzi's siblings to rule them, the village needed a new leader. It was clear that Komonzi was the natural choice, but his mind was elsewhere. He longed to find Keza, the only person who had shown him kindness when he was still struggling with his weight. Determined, Komonzi searched for Keza but found no trace of her. Days later, 2 children approached his guides and revealed where she could be found. Komonzi immediately set off to find her, filled with hope and anxiety. When he finally saw her, Keza was shocked. "Is this you, Komonzi? What happened to you? You've lost so much weight. Are you still sick?" "Yes, it's me," Komonzi said with a smile, "but I came here to tell you something important." Keza interrupted him, her voice trembling. "No, please go. I am pregnant and getting married. I'm not allowed to talk to any man. Heartbroken, Komonzi returned home in a rage. He ignored his siblings, who had come to apologize and check on him after hearing about his illness. Instead, he stormed into the house, throwing things around in frustration. His guides called the king and queen, who rushed to calm their son. Seeing her usually gentle son so upset, Queen Nairabairima asked, "What happened, Komonzi? What is it?" "I lost the only person who liked me the way I was, mother," Komonzi said, his voice breaking. "She didn't even know I was the prince, but she talked to me, then now she is getting married." His mother placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "No, son, you didn't lose her." "But I did," Komonzi insisted. "She is pregnant. Her name is Keza." Queen Nairabairima's eyes widened. "Keza, who works in the market?" "She is not pregnant, Komonzi. Her father is the one who cured you." "Why would she lie to me?" Komonzi asked, confused and hurt. Without waiting for an answer, Komonzi rushed back to find Keza. He followed the directions given by the children and found her at a friend's house. "Why did you lie to me?" Komonzi asked, his voice filled with anguish. Keza lowered her gaze, tears welling up in her eyes. "I'm sorry, Komonzi. I am the one who brought you herbs when you were sick, but I felt bad because we couldn't cure you." "But why did you push me away?" Komonzi asked, his voice softer now. "I didn't want to stay close after knowing you were a prince," Keza confessed. "That's why I lied. I'm sorry." Komonzi reached out and gently lifted her chin so she would look at him. "Please, don't leave me again," he pleaded. Komonzi then went to speak with Keza's father, explaining his intentions. Keza reassured her father, saying, "Komonzi is a good man, father. He would never hurt me." Moved by Komonzi's sincerity and his daughter's words, Keza's father gave them his blessing. They returned to the palace together, where Komonzi reunited with his siblings. Overjoyed, King Rujara and Queen Nairabairima decided to plan a wedding for their son and his love. The entire village rejoiced as Komonzi and Keza were married in a grand celebration, and a union that symbolized not just their love, but the power of kindness, acceptance, and redemption. And so, they lived happily ever after, the once lonely and misunderstood prince now surrounded by love, respect, and a life filled with joy.